Hey, welcome back, friends. We got the privilege of a few minutes with Gabriel Cousens on his way back from the Dominican Republic fasting retreat, and he's currently in New York with some comments about what's going on in the world and our response to all the developing things that are happening right now. So welcome, Dr. Cousens, and how are you doing and what's going on?
Okay, thank you, Richard. The world is getting more and more complicated, and I think many of you can understand that. And one of the best things we can do is dance and get our hearts open. Because what we see what's going on in the world is people are shutting their hearts, are in fear, and it's hard to do really healthy things when your heart is shut and you're in fear. It's very easy to make solutions, this, that, but they have to fit where people are. And I think dancing is really, really good. In 1802, that's a while ago, right? When Russia was dominating in the Ukraine area, there was Rabbi Nachman. They came to him and said, what to do? This is terrible. And he said, dance. Get the joy of the heart going, and then we can talk about it. So that's kind of what we have to do, is we have to do this with a clear mind and open heart. So we're going to dance for a few minutes, meditate for a few minutes, and then talk. Let's see if we can get this going. I'm at my wonderful daughter's house with my son-in-law and her children. Okay, I think we can do it. Okay, little dance, little music, a little heart opening. And now we'll meditate just for a few minutes. Focus on my eyes, and let's do it. Yo. Okay, slowly come out of meditation. I'm actually going to do something here. Let's see. Okay. Okay, better. Okay. So, what is on a lot of people's minds at this point is what's going on in the world. We have Iran, US, Israel, Ukraine, Russia, and literally about 115 civil wars going on worldwide at this point. 115. That's a lot, okay? So the world is in a time of serious unrest. Now the question is what to do. What to do? How do we move out of this? And the answers are not so simplistic. It may take a generation of people waking up to the importance of peace in their life, the importance of God in their life. How this is a kind of a biblical times where things are so difficult, people want to just jump out of it. But the fact is, we're here, and it's our responsibility to turn this back into a world of peace. Now, this week we've done the Peace 21 meditation, which we do on each equinox and solstice, getting people to meditate for peace. On each equinox and solstice, the energy goes out to the whole solar system. Literally, over 300 studies since 1973 have shown that when people meditate together, the frequency of peace increases. What does that mean? They did a study with 11 cities where 1% of the population was meditating, and the other 11 there weren't. And the people were 1% were meditating. They had 16% less crime. And they did a study in Rhode Island, 350 meditators, and the crime rate dropped 43% over 3 months. People said, that's a fluke. Whoever heard of meditating causing peace in a whole society? So they come back the next year and the crime rate dropped 49%. Now, does that mean we should replace the police with meditators? Well, maybe. 49% decrease in crime is pretty good. Well, these experiments have been done all over the world. Scotland, Ireland, with the same results. So what we're saying is it can be done. And people have to focus their minds on doing it. So we have, as they say, the Peace 21 at each equinox and solstice. We have the World Peace Meditation. We can flash that up there, where once a week on Sundays at 6:30 Israel time, 11:30 East Coast time, a.m. East Coast time, we're meditating for peace. So the more we do that, the more we're creating a literal frequency of peace. Dr. William Tiller, who was head of material science at Stanford University, theorized, based on this kind of discussion, that the effect of peace was equal to the square of the number of people meditating together. So what that means is if you have 2,000 people meditating in unison, that's equivalent of 4 million people meditating for peace. That's a huge force. Now, as we look at it, other people have said the square root of 1%. Now, what does that mean? That means if we had 9,000 people meditating for peace, we would create a frequency of peace that, in essence, would eliminate all wars. That's what that means. That's pretty significant. Because we look today and people are operating out of fear and anger and power moves. And what does it get us? It gets us war, it gets us misery, it gets people dying. It's really easy to blame everybody, but this is a world problem. This is not so simple. It's a world problem. I'm trying to grok what it means to have 115 countries in some level of civil war. I mean, that's enormous. We think about Israel and Iran and and Iran's proxies, Hezbollah and Hamas and the Houthis. But think 115 countries in some level of civil war. I mean, that's immense. And people being killed in Syria and Sudan that are in the half millions of people. 500,000, I think, was killed in Syria. I'm not sure the exact number, but enormous numbers. It's like, what is going on? So we're looking at it from how do we resolve this? In the United Nations, when it was functioning in a higher level, and I was friends with the assistant director of the United Nations, in the preamble it says, in the minds of men, we need to create ramparts of peace. That the wars have failed us. So what's new? Well, we're still doing the same old dysfunctional things. The wars have failed us. Going to war doesn't solve it. It just deepens it. It may create a space for peace down the line. So I think it's fair to say that Japan that had invaded China and Pearl Harbor, we're at peace with Japan. So we can see that war can lead to peace, okay? But that's a hard way to do it. The better way is to change consciousness, change our hearts, have some forgiveness. The humans have been fighting each other for thousands of years. We are at an evolutionary turning point, if we so choose, to elevate this and make this Iran, Israel thing and Hezbollah, it's an opening rather than a closing. Just to know, there was a Persian king, Iran is Persia, King Cyrus, who was the one that let the Jews come back to the Holy Land. So peace is not an unusual thing between Persia, Iran, and Israel, between the Jewish people. It's been there for hundreds of years. Yes, in the last 45 years, it's changed, and that has potential to change back. It may take a generation or so to change. I see read about a lot of Iranians who have migrated. I've met a lot of Iranians, in particular Los Angeles, who migrated here, and they have an attitude of peace. And they are able to get out a lot. So what I'm saying is that potential is really, really there. But it's through opening our hearts. It's through dancing together for peace. Now that may seem naive. It's not. Because when you're dancing together, when you're praying together, when you're having love in your life, you open the doors for the potential peace, because fear decreases. People interested in power politics are kind of put to the side, and people really gravitate towards leaders who at some level understand the dynamics of peace, which is meditating for peace, praying for peace, opening your heart, doing forgiveness. So that's an overview that I think could be very helpful and maybe the only solution. So Richard, I invite you in and see what you have to say.
Gabriel, I think your points are really important as always, and what it comes down to now, the situation that we're facing in the world and the delicacy of what will happen next. is our ability to affect the leaders and the people in positions of power by doing what you're talking.
Did you just cut out? I think you cut out for a second. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that it's really important to be able to apply that now, not just in theory, but to a strong enough degree that we influence the leaders and the people in power positions.
Yeah, and I'm going to say that even in the UN Charter, well, actually, in my Teaching to Peace 21, is that this is beyond the leaders. The people become the leaders. The people set the frequency so the leaders can rise to that frequency. So I'm adding an extra point to it. That I don't want to convince leaders. We have the power to change without the leaders, but I like to see the leaders change from fear and domination and power into one of love and peace and cooperation.
An example of that is the current trajectory of Donald Trump in the U.S. Needs to be reversed. He's making a serious mistake, alienating people that could be allies, including Russia and all the major countries, right? Are trying to act tough, and it's the wrong attitude. Be influenced by what you're talking about.
Right. And so it can be done. It was done in India. One of the great leaders in India, whose name I forgot, but he had a reign of 50 years of peace, and brought all these. He was a Buddhist. He brought in all the King Ashoka was his name, and he created 50 years of peace because he changed the consciousness of the people. He had people meditating. He applied Buddhist principles, and there was actually peace. So we have to upgrade the leaders. I'm not expecting the leaders to lead anymore because they have not succeeded. We, the people, have to succeed. I don't know how that sounds to you, but
I completely agree.
And so that's the kind of the story in a big way, and we have the power to do it. We actually really have the power to do it, and so we don't need to depend on the leaders leading. I just would like to see the leaders following, who actually allow themselves to be influenced by the frequency of peace. That would be nice. So those are what's up. So it's up to us to influence the leaders. And not by voting is good. I mean, we voted in Trump, we voted in different people. But voting with our hearts, dancing to the frequency of peace. We can do it. Actually, we have to do this. Because their leaders, in a sense, have failed us. We're not getting where we want to go. So I'm praying that everyone who wants to join in. And again, we have the weekly World Peace Meditation. We get 9,000 people meditate for peace. We will change the frequency of the world. Literally, we do that. So I ask everybody to participate. It's one thing for us to discuss it here, and obviously this program supports it, but we got to do it on a regular basis. The research shows that after 3 weeks, it fades out. That's why we do it on a weekly basis. So keep that in mind. We have the tools to do this. We have the power to make this happen. And we can upgrade our leaders so that they can actually participate in the bigger picture. So that's my prayer, that's my hope, and that's my solution to what seems like be an unsolvable problem. Richard, anything more you want to say?
Just that we're down to the wire now, and based on what's happening in the world, it needs to be put into practice right now.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Akshat, right now. So, it's easy to kind of make rights and wrongs, but there is only one right, which is to open up our hearts, dance for peace, meditate for peace, and join in shifting the world into a peace consciousness. So I bless everyone that we can hear this, that we can activate this, and bring peace, lasting peace to this world. Peace be with you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Takyasa. Om Takyasa is Native American to all my relations. The plant people, the flying ones, the walking ones, the swimming ones, and of course the two-leggeds. So I thank Richard, I thank Doug behind the scenes for making this happen. And peace be with you. And turn back to Richard.
Thank you, Gabriel. A simple message and very powerful. And it's time to do it now. So for all the programs in the World Peace Meditation, go to drcousens.com and live in the emotional field that you want to carry and broadcast to the world. It's time to do it right now. Time to influence the leaders in the power positions to come into harmony. And it can be done. So be peace and pray for what you want. And let's see the change happen now. It's time to do it.
Yes. Ho.
Take care, and we'll see you next week.